open, and here comes the mom. Gavin, I'm going to plug in, so we're still muted.
Well, it's early. I was telling him, usually our people seem to walk in at 6:29, and it's 6:24. So, hopefully, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Feels good. So remember, most importantly, I got to get that first note.
I'll go.
That's the note. Okay.
So,
Uh-huh. We are a whole other person more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10.
and 10.
And there will be more. Shabbat shalom to one and all you brave people who have come to embrace Shabbat together with us. We're almost ready. We're actually waiting for the massive crowd to storm the door in 4 minutes. When the clock strikes 6:30, you can start singing, because I think that's when the live streams begins. It's all very magical. Let's hope that we have a massive crowd watching from home in the live stream. Hundreds.
Yai da da do da, yai da 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 do da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 do do, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you. There is no lovelier way to welcome Shabbat than on the wings of song, as you've heard. And so I want to welcome you who are here, and those of you who are in live stream land, welcome to our Kabbalat Shabbat, the receiving of Shabbat. We are welcoming Shabbat. We are embracing Shabbat together, and it's always a joy. And it's always a special moment. And we are always invited, in order to do it correctly, to just unload the week. Let the stuff that weighs on us no longer weigh. Toss it aside and just focus on the loveliness and the spirit of Shabbat. And just in case you need it, housekeeping details. Out the door to the right and left are restrooms. If you have some kind of a very loud child, we have quiet rooms in the back. If you are just a really loud person yourself, quiet room in the back. Other than that, I think we are more than ready to really welcome Shabbat on more music. And we're going to do it with two magical moments. One is one that we have known and loved for many years because it's with the angels. It is Shalom Aleichem, right? Which in your blue book, by the way, is on page 7. This is the song that brings in the angels. You know, our Midrash says that every Jew on Shabbat, especially on Friday evening, has an angel on every shoulder, right? Ready to give a blessing. After we're done with the angels, which is a most beautiful way to bring in the magic of Shabbat, then the magic of love. Bride and groom, Lecha Dodi, out in the field, a poem written by mystics in Tzfat hundreds of years ago. Two beautiful magical moments. The Lecha Dodi you'll find on page 18. So first 7 and then 18. Join us.
Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Yeh Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, Nil Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sefer Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kahal sounds
18.
beautiful. Kahal's singing nicely.
Page 18, and we'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. This is a rockin' version.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat negavela.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו איך המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת להיטילה,
לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כמקור הברכה, בראש מקדם בסוכה. מעשה במחשבה תחילה,
לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
Rise to greet the Shabbos bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשמחה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
Have a seat. By the way, want to welcome the wonderful playing and singing of Carl Cedar, who is helping us today to welcome Shabbat beautifully. And we are now reaching the part where we end what I call the warm-up section. Actually, the warm-up section of the service is really much longer. The Shalom Aleichem and the Lechadodi are only two examples of many more pages of part of the warm-up section. But we give you little flavors, you know, we don't want to overdo it. So we are getting now to where we're going to go through the Chatzi Kaddish, which, as I have explained in the past, if you remember, that is always what we use to separate sections. When we sing the Chatzi Kaddish, it means new section coming up. And the one thing that announces more than anything else that the serious business of praying, no more warm-up, is coming up, is in fact the Baruch, which will follow the Chatzi Kaddish. So the Chatzi Kaddish is on 22, and the Baruch will follow immediately after that on 23. And for the Baruch, we will stand up. So for the Chatzi Kaddish, you can still sit, but as soon as that's done, up we go.
Page 22. Yikadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah Be'amad Yivakirute V'yamlich Malchute B'chayecho U'v'yomecho U'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'gala Ba'gala U'v'zman Karev V'yemeru
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Olam Olam Ve'almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yipar V'yirama V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yithala Shemei Dekudesha Leila Min Kol Brachata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damira V'alma V'meru.
That's right.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Et Adonai Mevorach, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Have a seat. So, as I say every week, and I never get tired of saying it, because it's probably my favorite subject, and that is that really, in one way or another, every prayer has something to do with love. Whether it's love from one person to another, or love from us loving God, or God loving us right back. So love is the centerpiece of everything. And it's a very good centerpiece. It makes it easy and worthwhile just waking up in the morning knowing that immediately, right? And it's wonderful to know just before you close your eyes at night that that is indeed the case. So some examples of that are coming up in the next three items, the next three prayers. The Ahavat Olam, which tells us about God loving us forever. And then, of course, the Shema, which is the core piece of who we are, us loving and being loved back by the one, Echad, and the Va'ahavta, of course. The love that we have for everything that we have learned from God, that we are then teaching to our children, which is what the Va'ahavta tells us to do. So the middle piece, the Shema, when you see me rise, you get to rise as well. So we're talking now about pages 27, 29, and 31.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נששיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם פאר כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה נגד יומם ולילה אנחנו אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים בעבור אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Let's rise.
Listen, Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Have a seat. Join me on 31 for the Va'ahavta. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And so we have now arrived at the Reeds Sea, which everybody mistakenly calls the Red Sea. I bet many of you still think it's the Red Sea that the Israelites crossed in dry land. But no, here's the interesting thing why. The Hebrew, which is where it all started, right? Hebrew came way before the English translation ever was born. That sea is always referred to as Yam Suf, and the Hebrew word Suf means reed. Yam is sea. So it is the Reed Sea, which most likely is a different body of water, maybe a little smaller than the Red Sea, which is why it could happen or whatever, right? So that's why I say the Reed Sea. I figured that's your little Torah/history lesson for the day. So as you know, once they crossed, Miriam and the women came out with a fabulous poem, the best, the Micha Mocha. So that's going to be next. And then the journey began. And when the journey of life, whether it's schlepping through the desert for 40 years or our own life's journey every single day of our lives, more than anything else, we want to feel secure and protected. That's what the Hashkivenu, which will follow it, asks. Let us go to sleep feeling safe, and let us rise up in the morning feeling protected and secure. And then, of course, the ultimate revelation at Sinai. That's when the contract was signed between God and the people. And the prayer that more than any other describes the contract is the Veshamru. It says, if you observe the Shabbat, I'm yours always, and you are mine always. That's a weekly contract signing that we do, right? So we're going to go to 37 from Yichamocha, 39 for Hashkivenu, and guess what? We ain't doing no jumping for Veshamru.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lahamidenu Shomrenu Lechayim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lahamidenu Shomrenu Lechayim Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechayim Shalom Me'ata v'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukat Shalom Aleinu al kol Yisrael V'al Yerushalayim.
Guess what? I was so excited to see you that I overlooked the fact that we have candles aching to be lit. So let me ask, is there anyone here who would like to join me up front in lighting the candles? Do I have any volunteer to want to come up and light the candles with me? Come on up. Okay.
Probably be the same way.
Yeah, but it's you.
Yeah.
Still have 85 to go. They
Does
usually,
this not work?
you can try that if you know how to make it work. I have a gentleman rising,
Let me see.
willing to give it a go. I know that they do a million times and then it happens. Look at,
Magic touch.
thank you so much. Yeah, stick around while we do the blessing because there's really no reason that it's only a lady thing, right?
Right.
Rise, please. Thank you. And as you know, we do the motion to bring the light to ourselves, right? And God is light, so just embracing. Here we go. 3 times. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק ner של Shabbat.
Amen.
Thank you. And you can go to your place, but stay standing because we've actually arrived at the Amidah. So that is, as you know, oh, Beshamru. We haven't done Beshamru yet. Have a seat. Rest before you stand.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם בדורם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בדורם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים את הארץ ושמיים לעשות את השבת לדורותם
לעולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת,
לעשות את השבת
לדורותם ברית עולם. And now, the Amidah is traditionally said silently, as we will do it. It is on page 45 all the way to 59. It is called Amidah because the Hebrew word Amidah means standing. You do it all standing up. I should tell you also that if you don't feel necessarily that you want to focus on every page of words here, you can wander off into your own prayer, your own thoughts, your own meditations on whatever spiritual thing that hits you at that moment. So private prayer and private thinking is as welcome as are the pre-written words here. So 45 to 59, kindly rise. Once you're done, feel free to sit down.
עושה שלום בלומר, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. פיברו
So this week's Torah portion is called Shlach Lecha, which means send out. It's the command form of the word because Moses was commanded by God to send out, very dramatically, 12 spies. Occasionally they're referred to as scouts also. And to go check out the promised land. You know, they've been in the desert for a while. And for all of them, hearing about the promised land, it's been this elusive, mysterious, unknown place with a very mysterious, unknown future for them. And so here you have the scene, you know, so Moses is told, pick 12 people to do this job. And the Israelites are camped outside in the middle of the Sinai desert. And they are anxious and nervous about what awaits them because they don't know. They worried. Never heard it, never known about it. So spies go off and they take a look at the land. Is it what was promised? Is it in fact really a land flowing with milk and honey? Is it destined to be a good home for us Israelites? So the 12 spies took a look, scouted it out, came back with mostly hugely negative reports. In fact, 10 of the 12 spies give a major thumbs down. They are overwhelmed by the formidable and threatening-looking inhabitants, you know, all kinds of little states and different people with different rulers and different cultures and so on. So they panicked and they told everything as they saw it and felt it. And, needless to say, they succeeded in panicking all their listeners. The population of the Israelites panicked. Only 2 people among the spies, Joshua and Caleb, they gave thoroughly positive reports saying, it is beautiful. And even if there is maybe a challenge or 2 awaiting us, we can go there, we can do it, we can be happy there. It is great. But the people listened to that majority of those who really talked it down and besmirched it badly. And the people, again, rebelled. They reacted with stuff saying, take us back to Egypt. That would have been better. You're sending us to our death. And so this is the point where you could decide to play the blame game, wondering who should get the blame for the spies' fiasco, because this is a story of a major fiasco. Was it the report of the spies? Was it the lack of faith of the people? Was it Moses possibly insufficiently vetting the men he picked for the spying job. There's no shortage of questions and possibilities. That's why many analytical discussions of this event and this major PR debacle have been taking place and shared for millennia. Here's one of them. It's probably the most famous one, and I chose it because much of what we learn from it applies to us, all generations, all peoples. So the Israelites of that generation at that moment knew nothing but slavery, right? We remember they were escaped slaves. After being set free via a God who gave them a miracle, after a miracle, after a miracle, right? First, they walked through the Red Sea. Then, if you recall some of the stories in the desert, they were thirsty. Moses hit a rock and water came out. It's pretty miraculous. They were hungry. Manna from heaven fell down. Miracle after miracle after miracle. So it created a kind of a dependence on God's miracles, which they knew would have to stop when they were brought to their new homeland. They would have to do things that free, independent people do, like plant, harvest, work the soil, defend their homes from greedy, warlike neighbor states, and on and on and on. So the meaning of living responsibly, that meaning reared its head to them quite suddenly, and they were scared, nearly flattened by the sense of uncertainty. What do we do? So they rebelled, and they whined, and they yelled. And this, my friends, is what turns this little story into a profound tragedy. Because this is the moment that sealed their fate to have to wander for 40 years, to not get to enter the promised land until their children, born in the desert as free men and women, became adults. They proved conclusively that they were a generation totally unprepared to plan a free, independent future and to know how to live it. So they wind themselves into the 40-year ordeal, giving their children time to grow up and mature into the adults who can and want to embrace freedom and its responsibilities in their new home. There's a very, very famous midrash, which you may have heard, I'm sure you've heard, tells about a Roman Empire, while they were under Roman rule, saw an old Israeli man in Jerusalem hunched over the ground, planting a brand new tree. And the emperor asked, "Why are you working so hard at doing this? Both you and I know that you will probably not live long enough to enjoy the fruits of this tree. So why bother?" The old man replied, "Just as my ancestors planted for me, so do I now plant for my children. It's about building for our children's future." Neither of the 10 negatively inclined spies sent on behalf of the people to scope the land, nor the people who much too quickly bought their badly skewed attitude, understood that this was about investing in the future of their children. Their failure was that they succumbed very selfishly to their own momentary fear and apprehension without any regard for looking ahead at the magnificent bigger picture that could have been theirs. So fast forward many thousands of years to our current world, right now, our current lives. Well, yes, thankfully we are now more likely to recognize and work toward opportunity to give next generations, our own and other generations, brighter, more successful, free futures. And yet, the world in which we live today is a source of ongoing heartbreak, so much strife and so much bloodshed, and sadness still exist in the very same region, very same promised land, still a place of apprehension, of agony and suffering. The late, sublime, talented Israeli songwriter Naomi Shemer, who wrote the beautiful song Jerusalem of Gold, which everybody's heard, has written many other wonderful songs. The song Jerusalem of Gold was written for the 6 Days War, and there's another song she wrote for the 6 Day War that was equally popular in Israel. It's called Machar. It means tomorrow. That's how you say tomorrow in Hebrew, Machar. And it talks about building a better tomorrow. One of the verses in its English translation, because the song is strictly in Hebrew, says, tomorrow, when the army takes off its uniforms, our hearts will stand at attention. Then each man will build with both hands what he has dreamed today. All this is neither fairy tale nor dream. It is as real as the midday sun. All this will come tomorrow, if not today. And if not tomorrow, then the day after tomorrow. So as we contemplate the drama and the story of the 12 spies in Shlach Lecha, or the tragedies in so many parts of our globe today, I invite us really to stay focused on how much good we can do by never forgetting our own mission to hand over a better world to the next generation. It's tikkun olam is what it is, repairing the world and making sure that our children are mentioned, a mensch, meaning that they are good, compassionate people ready to take the reins of life within the better tomorrow that we are trying and hoping to hand to them. It's a kind of a wake-up call to us via the stumble of our ancestors with an invitation to create the kind of brilliant tomorrow of peace, of freedom, serenity, and loving connections that are neither a fairy tale nor a dream. So here's what I thought. Since you so nicely are sitting there and listening, you have earned a moment or two to listen what some of that song, Machar, written by Naomi Shemer, really sounds like. So here it is. מחר אולי נפליג בספינות בין חוף אילת לחוף שנהר, ועל המשחטות הישנות ידעינו תפוחי זהב. כל זה אינו משל ולא חלום, זה נכון כאור בצהריים. כל זה יבוא מחר אם לא היום, ואם לא מחר אז מחרתיים. מחר כשהצבא יפשוט מדיו, ליבנו יעבור לדום, ואז כל איש יבנה בשתי ידיו את מה שהוא חלם היום. כל זה אינו משל ולא חלום, זה נכון כאור בצהריים. כל זה יבוא מחר אם לא היום, ואם לא מחר, ואם לא מחר, ואם לא מחר אז מחרתיים. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh my goodness. That was beautiful, Cantor.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for teaching me that song.
Well, how about that? And it has such a good message, really. There's more verses to it, but they all have the same message. So we have now arrived at the moment of healing, praying for the healing of those who are close to our hearts, the Mishaberach, which you'll find on page 63. So first, let's go around the room. If there is anyone for whom you would like the healing prayer to be sung, go ahead, shout out the name if you'd like. Anyone on this side? Thank you. Anyone? Okay. I know I have a couple of names. Bob Felsenfeld, Jeffrey Greer, Vicky Rubenhouten.
Kenny and Lupe Letson. No, Khan.
63.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu מקור הברכה יבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
I invite us to rise and turn to page 64 for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו לפני מלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה הארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים עמם, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אינו אמת מלכנו, אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים עמך, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד אינו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Okay, have a seat. We are going to now going to remember our loved ones who have passed on. We continue to remember our members' parents who died this past year: Ruth Lupel, Libby Zweig. This week we observe the following yahrzeits. These names reflect the current week from last Sunday to this Shabbat. If your custom is to observe the week going forward, or if your loved one's name is not on the list, please say the name of your loved one as we go around the room. Is there anyone who you know will not be on this list whom you wish to remember today during the Mourner's Kaddish? Yes. Thank you. Anyone else wish to add something? All right. Here is whom we're remembering today: Lee Irving Barker, Paul Berkovich, Ruskin Berglund, Sandy Berkowitz, Gary Binder, Ann Bleeman, Clarita Bonder, Pearl Kasdan, Jerry Cohen, Alice Cohn, Sylvia Kramer Beck, Anna Drotman, Edith Black Gernreich, Cantor David Gordon, Murray Granite, Rose Gerwitz, Mac Horowitz, Sonia Horowitz, Miriam Joseph, Moshe Gneller, Bruce Court, Leslie Coonan, Sid Lance, Max Levy, Rose Lichtenstein, Nina Lopez, Susan Margolis, Benjamin Miller, Jack Nahan, Morris Neiman, Emily Neufeld, Barry Packer, Solomon Pine, Jane Pollock, Julius Pollock, Lawrence Preisler, Alan Rothman, Melvin Singer, Gloria Smolinski, Dorothy Sokol, Arlene Sandra Trainoff, Donna Van Slyke, Edward Varney, and Murray Weinstein. I invite you to rise for the Mourner's Kaddish. Page 73. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. All right. Let's see what happens next. What happens next, is first, before anything, is anyone sitting in this room who happens to be a board member here? No one. All right. Then I will read the announcements. But before I do that, let's do the challah thing. We have, as you know, we have often a challah or two that we send out as a lovely mitzvah to somebody who's a shut-in, who's ill, who can't make Shabbat with us. And for doing that, you get lots of brownie points next to God's bosom. So, is there anyone who's going to volunteer to go to Mission Viejo? There's a phone number here. Always call first, tell them you're coming and their directions to where to go. And thank you so much. Brownie points coming your way.
What if I can't, the last time I attempted to deliver, I couldn't find the place, so I had to come back here.
Let's hope that you can.
Yeah, because my UPS is not really working that well.
Your GPS, you mean? Not that UPS is that great, but but yeah, well, do your best. Do your best. On the worst of conditions, when you call and say, I'm coming to bring you a challah, you can ask them, say, here's what the directions say. Is that correct?
I did call, and
They didn't know where they lived?
no, they didn't answer the phone.
Didn't answer the phone. You know what? More than trying, you can't do. You know, under the worst of conditions, no. But I'm sending you vibes of success. Okay. All right. Now, announcements. So, here are the announcements. Thank you, Carl Cedar. And if somebody else would have been reading it, thank you, me. But thank you, Carl Cedar. Really lovely, right? Our lay-led Torah study is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Our regular conservative service begins at 9:15 a.m. All details can be found on our website, but just a few things to note. Our 11th annual Child Spree is coming. On July 28th, our congregants will take 65 foster children on a Temple Bethel sponsored shopping trip to buy them back to school clothes. Please help make that happen and register to be a shopping buddy or a volunteer at the event. I know they still need people, so if you haven't done it, do it. This is really a good mitzvah. Details and registrations are on our website. That's a really good one, and I keep hearing every year from people who do that. It's very satisfying and fulfilling to do that. They love it, and they get these. It's Good. If you can at all do it and haven't yet, I recommend it. Golfers. TBE Men's Club is hosting our annual golf outing July 17th at the Tijeras Creek Golf Club. Our event includes $10,000 and $1,000 prizes for a hole-in-one, a tasty buffet dinner, and some fun raffle gifts at dinner. We're offering a chance to win a premium golf trip for two at Pebble Beach. Tickets are $225 each, and a maximum of only 52 tickets will be sold. Whether or not you join us for the event on Monday, July 15th, don't miss out on this Pebble Beach opportunity, and remember to tell your friends. Reminder that our offices are closed July 4 for obvious reasons. And so now, having done that, join me. Let's do Kiddush and Hamotzi. Is there anyone here who feels like leading Kiddush? Okay. Under duress, I'll do it. Rise, please. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. I think it's wine, so I'm just going to pretend. Because I don't do wine, I do grape juice. So, a virtual sip. And here, join me in the Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And now, we are going to close with Adon Olam, which is on page
191. Adon Olam Asher Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי תכלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חרלי וצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנקוסי ביום אקרא, ידו אפתיד רוחי באל אישן והעירה, ועם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא אירא. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom to you, and kindly enjoy the goodies waiting for you in the Oneg in the next room. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbat and a spectacular weekend. See you in the other room. Thank you. I noticed something very interesting. which I